This is the J-Hawks Sports Network, powered by Heartland Technology.
All right, welcome aboard on the J-Hawks Sports Network from Heartland Technology. And we are set for what we'll call a final season. But we'll talk more about that as we go along. But we are starting the winter sports season. Season still very early yet to know what these teams will become.
Can't get much younger than the season is right now. Both teams have had a jamboree scrimmage. For those of you who aren't familiar with the jamboree, usually it involves half a game of basketball. Jesup faced up against, wow.
I'm just going to wait.
Let's go walk on. Blank.
We could have.
No. I take that back. Okay, we've had a game, haven't we?
We have.
We are
1-0.
The Jayhawks are 1-0.
Yeah.
They did travel to walk on last week and put together a win. The Hudson Pirates, I don't think they've had a game yet, unless is there something in the books?
Union.
Okay. This is why you do your homework and you should do all the talking about the historical aspect.
57-14. They beat Union back on the 26th. Waukon. Jesup beating them 46-33 up there. Right now, Jesup owns the series lead, 19-12.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting tonight. I mean, these are both two ranked teams. Both have a lot of experience coming into this game. It's anybody's ball game at this point. I expect a good game tonight. The Jayhawks, I've watched them play. I watched them live in their jamboree, and then I watched online when they played over at Waukon. They really struggled with ball possession, ball control, taking care of it. So I'm sure that's something Coach Conrad has worked on with them in practice, made a focus for them. So hopefully they'll come out tonight and take better care of the ball. If they don't, I know this is a scrappy Hudson team, and like I said, plenty of experience, and they'll take advantage of that if the Jayhawks don't take care of it.
Well,
and they got some shooters on this team too.
It's something we've talked about the last couple of years, really, because there was only one senior that was on that team last year.
Yeah.
And then you move into this year, and you look at, all the game time experience that Peyton Youngblood got, that Marley Shizzle got. Sage Bain's been on the floor quite a bit. Emma and Jaden Bowes, Emma Zabel. You go down the line here, Olivia Nesbitt. We're going to see probably a fair amount of her tonight. Peyton Weber, she got quite a few minutes as the season went in. And there's some scattered underclassmen in there that came in and out. But It's going to be Coach Conrad's it's going to be tougher trying to figure out his combination that's going to work.
Yeah, right. I mean, all of the seniors on the Jayhawks squad, as well as most of the juniors, and even some of the sophomores have been playing since they're freshmen. You and I talked before the game about that's great to get those young players experience, but then as they get older, some of them start to expect that. You still got to go out there and earn it and show that you deserve it. And so I'm sure there's some battles in practice right now for that playing time. And, as the season goes, we'll see who gets the bulk of the minutes. But it's good to have that problem. I'd much rather have that problem than, a team full of inexperience and maybe people you don't know if you can count on yet. So.
Well, we are set here very shortly for our starting lineups. Let's turn those over to PA announcer Dan Fox.
Jesup High School proudly supports and practices good sportsmanship by supporting their team, respecting the abilities of the opposition, and the decisions of the officials. You can create an environment that is reflective of the community. Be a class act, be a good sport, be a winner in the game of sportsmanship. Please welcome tonight's game officials, Steve Alleman, Cody Oates, and Chris Shaw. Now, the starting lineup for the Hudson Pirates. A senior, number 5, Amelia Frank. A sophomore, number 10, Taylor Davis. A sophomore, number 14, Siri Olsen. A senior, number 25, Addie Rose. The Pirates are coached by Jeffrey Curley. And now for our Jayhawks, a senior, number 2, Peyton Youngblood. A junior, number 11, Emma Bowes. A junior, number 12, Jaden Bowes. A sophomore, number 13, Emma Zabel. A senior, number 23, Olivia Nesbitt. The Jayhawks are coached by Jordan Conrad. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as we honor our nation and flag while paying respect to our men and women in uniform around the world who protect our liberties and way of life with the playing of our national anthem.
Well, a national roof over your head day that we learned on the scoreboard. Luke, what's our starting lineups?
For the Hudson Pirates, we've got a senior guard, number 5, Amelia Clink, a sophomore guard, number 10, Taylor Davis, sophomore guard, 14, Siri Olson, a senior guard, number 24, Madison Wieland, and a senior forward, number 25, Addie Rhodes. For your Jesup J-Hawks, number 2, a senior, Peyton Youngblood. Senior guard or junior guards, number 11, Emma Bowes, number 12, Jaden Bowes, a sophomore forward, number 13, Emma Zabel, and a senior forward, number 23, in the middle, Olivia Nesbitt. And quickly, the Hudson Pirates take it down. No good. Blocked by, I believe that was Nesbitt. Quickly back the other way in the hands of Emma Bowes.
So set to roll here again, 8-minute quarters. And they will, again, as this has set up, they will reset the fouls once they get into at the end of each quarter. But they're moving the ball around quickly. And this Hudson team, you talked about this, Luke. A quick team, and they've had some success and really seemingly took it the other night to Union, and we'll see how they continue into this game.
Yeah, another quick turnover for the Pirates. So back the other way for the Jayhawks. Emma Bowes feeds Olivia Nesbitt inside. Turnaround, beautiful shot, as we've gotten accustomed to see from Olivia, and that will put Jesup on the board first.
So again, 2 points, Olivia Nesbitt. Okay, we welcome on the Jayhawks Sports Network from Heartland Technology. And whistle on the sideline. Davis, it'll come off of, or Davis trying to cover that. Hudson will have the possession.
Inbounds, near side, up to the top of the key. Deep shot, no good for Hudson. You'll have to forgive me while I'm still working to get the names here. The names are so small on this sheet we've got tonight. My blind eyes can hardly read it, and I've got my glasses on. My cheating eyeballs. So Jesup in a 2-3 defense, just daring the Pirates to shoot that three, which the Pirates are plenty capable of, but until they make it, I suspect Jesup will stay in that 2-3 to guard the middle.
Emma Bowes has it. Youngblood passes over to Nesbitt. Nesbitt overhead. Guarded close by Hudson. Nesbitt will break in. Actually, Zabel will break in. And there's Davis. She'll bring it down almost to that hoop, but they'll kick it back outside, in and out. That ball does not go off the hands of Rhodes.
Emma Bowes brings the ball up for Jesup. Peyton Youngblood will handle the bulk of the point guard position this year, probably splitting time with the other Bowes, Jaden. But really any one of these girls can bring the ball up.
Emma Bowes breaks in the paint, pulls back, 4 foot out, doesn't get it, tries for her own rebound. Hudson will take it away.
Boy, she was right there, just needs to follow through on that shot.
Davis had it underneath. She'll skip that back out, and Olsen will take a travel as she throws that shot up. It will be possession to the Jayhawks.
Sage Bain is going to check into the game for Emma Zabel. Sage missed the walk-on game, so this is her first minutes for over a week here.
Just looking at Peyton Youngblood along with Sage Bain and Olivia Nesbitt are your 3 seniors on this year's basketball team.
Out of bounds. Ball off Clank on the far side.
Now Jaden Bowes gets the nod coming in. Again, Bowes a junior. Emma Bowes a junior as well. Corner of Peyton. Really trying to find anything inside. Sage has that double team, and it's going to get off the handle of Peyton Youngblood and go out of bounds. Hudson will have it.
And so that's an example of some of what I saw again in the Jamboree and at walk-on, Nate, where, you know, that's an unforced error. That's just a kick out. We got to catch that ball and get back into our offense. So it's early. You're going to have some of those miscues early in the season and easily cleaned up.
Siri Olsen with that ball, and
nice
Hudson
defense.
Mistake on a pass, and Youngblood in the way. We'll bring it down the floor, going towards that south basket here in the south gym. Nesbitt lobbing up top. Emma is going to have to fight to pull that one in, but Davis says she wants to battle as well.
No foul. That will stick with Jesup.
4:29 remain, first quarter.
I'm not sure what they called there. They didn't call a jump ball.
Or they step out of bounds as they were coming through and they get a chance to call anything.
Well, it was kind of a tie-up, so if they did step out of bounds, they must have said Hudson had possession. So maybe that's what it was, and then we traveled and turned it back over.
Very low-scoring game. Jesup scored earlier on, and we've not seen a basket since. 4:10 remain, first quarter. Boys game will follow, Hudson and Jesup. And there's Jaden Bowes on a fast break. She's covered, will not be fouled. Ball will go out of bounds off of Hudson. Jayhawks will have it.
So really solid defense by the Jayhawks so far. In that 2-3 defense, really pressuring the perimeter and making it hard for the Pirates to move the ball around the perimeter. Shizzle and Peyton Weber into the game for the Jayhawks.
And those are two players that really, later part of last season, got considerable minutes, got involvement. It was good to see, the skill sets have developed, and I'm sure they've grown since last season too.
Yeah, both high energy kids. Late pass by Nesbitt there. She had Peyton wide open for a bit, but it collapsed before she could get her the ball.
Youngblood on a dribble into Bowes, quick into Weber, double team.
Nice
Nesbitt
look.
has it and will lose it. And Hudson struggling to hang on to the possession, and that ball is loose like a hot potato, and the whistle will finally blow.
It's kind of early for this statement, Nate, but that was borderline good old-fashioned Donnybrook there, man.
We're not getting to that far just yet. I introduced that the first season, and then you've just been hanging on to it. 3:34 to go. First quarter.
Bain.
Sage is going to miss that one. Lands in the hands of Hudson's Molly Hansen, who's now in the game.
Sage is capable of making that shot. Probably not the kid you want shooting it very often. Not a high percentage shot for her. Hudson back quickly to tie this thing up at 2.
Coach Conrad really vocal in getting some players back to be on the inbound as Peyton Youngblood's behind that baseline.
Yeah, Hudson went into a full court press here, so she's going to need some help bringing that up.
So Shizzle has it. Went
Nice
right,
job.
take that left, come across timeline.
Nice job by
And
Peyton. Yep.
Little touch to the other hand, and that's going to be the double dribble.
Nice job by Peyton Youngblood on that to clear out, give Shizzle room to bring the ball up the court. And nice job by Shizzle, a sophomore, to maintain composure and get it up the court. She did end up double dribbling, but
There's Davis, stops top of the key, has a double team. Jesup playing a zone 3-2, 3 up front.
deep.
And that one's going to hit the iron and bounce back in for Jesup. Actually, Hudson's Rhodes to attack it. She goes down to
Hard.
the floor hard.
Seems to be no worse for the wearer. Comes up limping, but a bit of a smile on her face early on. I don't know if it was a smile or a cringe, but she's going to go to the line and shoot a pair.
High up and in.
Zabel back into the game for Olivia Nesbitt.
Again, we may see, I don't know if we'll see another one off that bench, just looking down there. See how things go. We've already gone 8 deep on that roster.
Yeah, I
Actually,
would
9 deep.
I would not be surprised, not expect, but not be surprised to see freshman Dylan Vogel at some point. Has done a really nice job for the Jayhawks so far. Probably more so in practice than in game situations, but we've only had a game and a half, so she hasn't had a chance to show too much. Jesup quickly in, breaks that press.
Under 3, Shizzle.
Not a great place to pick your ball up.
Zabel push in, and
There
waiting
you go.
for it was Bain.
That's how you break the press and get a basket easy.
Tied up at 4. Jesup last year in the girls in a thing, won the conference. 7 wins, 1 loss in the Nickel East. See what they can do here this season. I would think high expectations.
Another travel by Whelan. But yeah, I agree with you, Nate. I think there are some high expectations. As I said previously, they've got some cleaning up to do. But high ceiling for this group. Got a lot of talent. It just depends on whether they can put it together. Great drive by Bose there. She's going to draw a foul. Oh. Carry. I believe they called it carry.
So
Rhodes back into the game for the Pirates.
Hudson will make some changes when it comes to personnel on the floor. And Hudson's Davis across that timeline, brings it back near side, has an opening down low. Bain out, actually Shizzle out covering. And Bain hovering tight. Doing a good job defensively, really, Luke, when you look at how they're holding that zone press.
They really have. You know, they started in that 2-3 zone. They've kind of dropped into a man-to-man, I believe. A lot of nice rotation, switching on picks, making it awfully hard on the Pirates. Still a low-scoring game. 2 minutes left, just 4-4.
Shizzle takes it right side, covered by Davis. Cross midcourt.
So back to Shizzle. You know, that's a sophomore. As I said earlier, high-energy kid. Really, really nice gal. She had a great year in volleyball this year. 4-sport athlete, I believe. But she's got to learn when to and when not to pick up that dribble. And she's picking it up in some pretty dicey spots so far.
Weber trying to lean into Bain. Little misjudge.
That's
Davis is open down court, and we're going to see a travel
Yeah, Rhodes had the right idea there. She was trying to push the ball up the court quickly, but got kind of caught on her back hip there and couldn't get it released.
Near side, Shiz will have that in front of the Hudson bench. Picked up right near midcourt. Bose taking the dribble, looking down floor. Hudson's defense on that man-to-man.
Good.
Bain
feed.
had the opening, got the shot off, misses it, going to kick it back out. Shizzle looked at it. Now Weber, she'll try and back in, but it's going to take Bain from free throw length.
There you go, girl.
To get that in, and that'll be her 4th point of the night.
Little redemption shot there, missed that little bunny.
It is 6-4 Jesup. It has been a slow scoring game.
Jesup in a box and 1 now, I think. So really just all over the board defensively, and it's really worked well for them. Forcing turnovers. I don't think the Pirates have had a comfortable shot yet.
Bose up top watching that clock. 20 on the shot clock, 35 on the game clock. And Davis will attack. And that will be the 3rd team foul, or 2nd team foul for Hudson. Youngblood back in along with Olivia Nesbitt. Weber and Shizzle will sit out.
Pretty tight foul there on the Hudson Pirates. I would have let that go. That was pretty solid defense, but got the hand.
Davis first personal foul, 2nd team foul for Hudson. Shot clock is off. Jessup look at that last shot here of the half. Try and double that lead here, and they were able to do it with Zabel.
Great feed by Sage Bain. She's had a couple of really nice feeds into her bigs tonight. And Sage, of course, considered one of the Jayhawks bigs herself. But with Emma Zabel, the sophomore on the floor, it really gives Jesup some nice size that, they didn't have. She was here last year, but she has really come a long ways. Last year, she was still making some of those freshman errors from time to time. She's cleaned a lot of that up. She had a couple of moves in the Jamboree and then over at walk-on that were pretty darn impressive.
So get through the first stanza. 8-4 is the score as the boys basketball team will head to the locker room as they get ready to face Hudson here on our nightcap. We'll have that for you here on the Jayhawks Sports Network. That'll be a separate link that shows up on Facebook and also on the YouTube channel. But slow start to this one.
It hasn't been a slow start, so to speak. I mean, I feel like there's been just a ton of action, but it's been mostly defense so far. Yeah, the Jayhawks have played really good D in particular, and then on top of that, and probably partly due to the Jayhawks defense, quite a few turnovers by the Pirates. But then on the other side, Pirates doing a nice job on D, but also Jayhawks missing some bunnies inside, and then, on top of that, the refs really letting them play. I mean, I don't want to say it's been an overly physical game, but there's certainly been a few no calls, which I'm all for. I would much prefer to see, a loosely called game as long as it's under control.
Get a chance to check out the video board, which is a couple years old, but
nice to see it actually being used.
There's a service I think they got into that this is on the screens in the hallway and things like that. So,
yeah, that's great.
So you get a joke of the day and some other facts and schedules and things like that.
Saw that up during the Jamboree and thought, hey, all right.
Olivia Nesbitt has it as we are into the second quarter. A little push into Bain. That one goes in and out. Tries to get it her own, but a whistle will happen and a travel will be given to Bain.
Boy, nice feed. Bain just has to get. She's got to get her head up and see the corner of that backboard and just bounce it right off there. I'm going to have to keep an eye on that board because I can always use more jokes in my arsenal, Nate.
You're not really a joke teller.
No, I'm not, because I can't remember them.
No, you just make things funny. Deep shot goes in for Hudson. That will play catch up a little bit with a 3-point shot. That will be credited to Hyatt, and it's an 8-7 game. Ooh. And Hudson takes it away and looking to take a lead. take a bounce, take a dribble, take a shot, and Willard, she'll be in to give Hudson the first lead of the game, 9-8. And that one's out of bounds, and back-to-back-to-back possessions for Hudson, and Jesup not able to move anything offensively.
A little messy so far. Coach Curley, I think, had a little heart-to-heart with his squad in between quarters here and said, hey, girls, how about we get after them?
Against Union, Taylor Davis had 21 points, shot almost 53%, 100% from the free throw line, along with about 9 rebounds. Zabel. A little traffic she's got to get through. Get it out to Jaden Bowes, and Olivia Nesbitt could not get her hand on it. What she was able to do ended up going towards Hudson's way. Coming up at halftime, we'll visit with head boys basketball coach Joe Smines. We'll talk about the game that's going to be coming up here later on this evening.
Emma Bowes comes into the game to replace her sister Jaden. And she will inbounds to Peyton Youngblood. Peyton guarded by Olsen of the Pirates. Olsen just a sophomore, and I believe I remember her getting some good minutes last year. Ooh, Emma Bowes almost gets away with a travel there. I don't think she lifted her right foot, but it was close.
Davis takes it most of the way down, kicks it out to teammate, though, on an assist for a 3, and give that one credit. Wheeland in the book. They're really stretching this a little bit more for Hudson. And they are taking advantage of turnovers and really capitalizing on those as we see a foul.
I think they called jump ball there. That's going to stick with the Pirates.
Olsen will inbound that. Far side, wide open opportunity for Hyatt. Misses it completely, but maybe count that as an assist instead as Trunk. She's in the scorebook now with a total of 5, and Coach Conrad would like a timeout and perfect timing to do it.
Yeah, Coach Conrad not happy at all with what he saw since the start of the second quarter here. Jesup just kind of uncapped their heads and left their brains on the bench, I think, before they came out. So get things under control, get them back on track. Again, it goes back to just taking care of the ball. We saw some unforced errors there and also some forced errors. Really nice job by the Hudson Pirates. They've gotten after it defensively since the end of the first quarter, start of the second, and that's made a difference in the game here. So credit their play.
Sage Bain will inbound baseline coming out of that timeout. Hard pass near side. Nesbitt has it. Looking to get across that timeline, covered tightly by Olsen. Really spent a lot of time on the dribble looking for an opportunity on a pass, and that one forced down to Zabel, gets taken away. Give and go to Davis, and she's going to see some pressure, but advantage Jesup on that.
Yep. Nice job of the Jayhawks getting back on defense and causing the travel.
14-8. Hudson trailing Jesup here on the Jayhawk floor in the opening season opener at home with the doubleheader boy-girl against the Pirates. Bain, far-reaching pass. Youngblood has it. And a Nesbitt, kind of a no-look twirl. Unable to make that happen, but Emma Bowes sneaks in from the far side. Reset this offense, reset that shot clock. 4:35 to go. First half, ball's taken away. Emma was looking further away and didn't protect the ball, and Davis takes it down the other end for a score.
Heck of a running layup by Davis. I don't know if that was more talent or luck there, but I'm going with talent because that was nothing but net.
Jesup got out of the gates quick with a score and held the lead and have not scored since Hudson overtook the lead, and a deep three does not work for Youngblood.
Jesup looks a little winded here.
Hudson will slow things down a little bit. It was fast there for a while. Back and forth. This is the slowest we've seen it. And Hudson will come baseline with Trunk. That one gets knocked away.
Olivia Nesbitt says not this time. And Shizzle. And here we see the freshman Vogel into the game for the Jayhawks. Dylan, a
freshman.
Yeah, freshman guard. Really did a great job last couple of years at the junior high levels. Put a lot of time. She's actually got a nice gym set up in the shop, so spends a lot of time on the court. Of course, her older brother, a senior for the boys team. Wait a minute, we're just going to disregard that shot clock? Yeah, I guess the shot went off before the shot clock.
I was like, wow, that was a quick second quarter. So I think we've got whatever happened there figured out.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Remember last year we got stuck in the infinite buzzer for a time in Jesup.
Hudson with another shot. That ball goes in off the hands of Molly Hansen. So Hudson's gone 8 deep so far on their roster. And Jesup so far has gone 10 total players on floor. And still trying to find that good combination. And turnovers have not been a good thing for Jesup, but they've been a good thing for Hudson, who've had success converting on those.
I tell you what, if you're gonna turn the ball over, you better get back on defense. And we were jogging while they were sprinting there.
Cross court, deep three opportunity is going to be missed. Weber will pull that in, and they'll give it off.
Push it
to the freshman. She can dribble that ball behind the back, bring her across that midcourt, and fortunately she goes over and back.
I didn't see it. I'll have to see that on the replay, but I suspect when she brought that ball behind her back, that must have resulted in the over and back. Just again in that 2-3 zone. Hudson not being overly, they haven't threatened too much from the perimeter, which is why Jesup's still in that 2-3. Foul underneath.
Under 2 minutes. Jesup should have the possession. Olivia Nesbitt make her way baseline far side.
That foul on Clank. Even with my glasses, Nate, I can't see this stuff.
Right underneath. Little battle right there, midcourt. Shizzle and was that Klink out there?
I believe so.
Number 5, Klink. And there's Vogel. Seeing some coverage from Hansen. For as big as she is, she's just like her brother. For as big as they are, they play beyond their size and strength.
Zabel with the offensive foul, a little push off, trying to get position down there. Hudson Pirates they've just outplayed us in every facet of the game in the second period. So, there's one easy thing to work on when you come out in the second half, and that's just effort. Too much jogging down the court here.
Emma Bowes looking down floor, 1:20 to go. Covered by Clank. Picks that up. Ooh, and now double dribble.
Yeah.
She, I think, was under the impression maybe Clank had touched that. And could get her to go dribble again, but official says otherwise. Clank at that point guard. And they're going to slow it down here a little bit, I imagine. Lean into Davis. Back up to Clank. She had an opportunity. Covered by Vogel. Ball loose inside the paint. Shizzle will have it. There's Vogel. Take that right hand. Quick down to Zabel. Almost should have went right around that corner. But Shizzle will try it. She can't get it. A little volleyball hop up from Clank.
A little set by Clank. Nice hustle play by Emma. Quickly up.
Now Vogel gets it.
There
Shot clock off. And the left-handed layup. That's going to be good.
And that, I believe, is the first Jayhawk points of the quarter. Correct me if I'm wrong there.
Yeah, that's the first points of the quarter and the first points since Hudson overtook the lead.
So Hudson really just did a really nice job all the way around in the second period. Whatever Coach Curley said to him at the end of the first there resonated with them. Jesup now here late in the quarter showing a little bit of aggression, but they just have to be stronger with the ball, more intentional with their passes. Give a ball fake here and there. Don't look right at your intended target.
So through a half, Jesup right now is trailing. 21-10 is our score leading for the Jayhawks. 4 points with Sage Bain, who came off the bench to score that. 7 for Trunk right now for Hudson. But joining me, head basketball coach Joe Smines, as we are kicking off our home opener, but I guess it's your season opener.
That's correct.
As we get into boys basketball. This is a different team you've got out there. You've got some familiar characters, but as far as the ensemble cast, it's a bit different.
Every year when you do this, this would be my 10th year here as a head coach and 13 overall as a head coach, and every year is a little bit different. And we returned 3 starters from last year's team. 2 that really started every game with Landon and Ryan. And Ryan played a lot as a sophomore. Landon played a little bit as a sophomore after his injury, and then Nick Moore played a lot last year. So basically, we got 3 guys that played a fair amount of basketball in their career. And then from that point, it's a bunch of new guys.
Yeah.
Guys that have been in a program, have worked hard to get themselves ready. Paxton McCone, you'll see tonight, played a little bit last year off the bench for us. You'll see Parker Masteller tonight. He played a little bit last year towards the end of the year in some scrub time. And then he has some younger guys, Abe Sullivan, Gage Wymore, Braylon Seahas, Peyton Cameron. Guys that played some JV tonight, but are going to get some time tonight in the varsity. So we're still trying to figure that out a little bit. But it's a good place to start with Ryan and Landon and Nick returning to the lineup.
Yeah, and you've had an opportunity to play a couple scrimmages.
Yep.
I guess Northland, week ago, I guess you're looking at there.
Yep.
And then just after Thanksgiving, you got you're going to help me here on
North Fayette Valley and Janesville.
But when you look who's out there, and Ryan, he's got the presence on the floor. He's played a lot of basketball since the end of last season as well. But I was talking to somebody about this, and I'm like, Nick Moore is going to be your difference maker.
Yeah. Nick was a kid that played junior high, didn't play as a freshman, went back out his sophomore year, and glad he did. Really came on his last part of his sophomore year, did a nice job for us last year in a 5-man, 6-man role. I think he played his best basketball last year in the district final versus Hudson. Had some nice plays there. Has practiced well. He's got a motor on him. He's athletic as heck. I think he would tell you sometimes he gets down on himself too quickly, and we're trying to work through that still, but we need him to be good this year in his own way. I'm not sure he's ever going to be a 20-point guy for us, but his energy, his rebounding, his athleticism, his quickness, something we don't have. And expecting big things from him this year, and I know he'll do a good job for us.
Well, look through this list of guys that you really kind of saw step up last fall on the football field when you're looking at, Paxton McCollum being the most improved, I think, player this season on that floor, and even where he's come in as far as the scrimmages are, he's holding himself. Seems to know where he's at and what he needs to do.
It's always fun to watch kids grow up, and some develop at faster rates. And his 2 older siblings were great athletes here, great players, and multiple things. And Pax was a little bit slower developing, I would say, in that regard. And that happens. Everybody does it at their own pace, and he's really worked hard in the weight room to get himself prepared. Had a great football season for us. He was most improved, like I said, and that was well-deserved. And he's done a nice job for us so far the first 2 weeks here in practice and our scrimmages. And, he played a little bit last year, and I think it got him hungrier. He worked hard this summer to get himself ready to play, and expecting him to do a nice job for us. He can play multiple spots for us, which we're going to need this year moving forward.
Yeah, and you look down low, and it's been maybe since Carson Lee now that you had a presence in the paint. And I'm not gonna compare Carson and Brennan Osher together. They're 2 different players, but having somebody can hold their own under the hoop to make some things happen, that's where Brennan comes.
Yeah, Brennan is one of the most creative players we've maybe ever had come through here. Mm-hmm. If you watch him play in practice, he throws some passes that are just phenomenal. I wish he was 6'3", and I wish he was could play above the rim, but that's not his body. He had a great football season as well. Great leader, brings it every day in practice. You'll see him do a nice job for us this year, whatever role he decides to play. Last year when he played JV, I'm not sure his numbers would jump off the page at you, but when he's on the floor for us last year in the JV game, we were a better basketball team, and you'll see that tonight with him when he's out there for us.
When you go back to closing out the year last year and unable to make it to state, and you take from that point to where we're at tonight, what did you think when those seniors walked away? You saw what you were going to have. What were you kind of thinking?
Yeah, all of last year, I'm always looking ahead. That's part of being in this position. You got to look ahead a little bit at times, even the next year when you're in the current year, just to start thinking about some things where you want guys to move. And we had kind of a log pile of guys last year, I would say, in that now they're in the 4 through 14 spots for us, if you want to say. And I'm still not sure we've had a ton of delineation, but there has some guys that have pushed ahead. Abe Sullivan's a kid that's worked really, 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 really hard at it. Got some varsity football time this year, which was critical. Gage Wymore has grown finally a little bit. Still could use a little more weight and a little more height, but he's really practiced well. Peyton Cameron's a kid that's developed a ton since his freshman year. Did a nice job in the JV game tonight. You'll see him as well. There's a ton of other guys. We had Coach Schmidt, Coach Johnson do a great job with our lower level. We had probably 5 or 6 guys tonight that played 6 quarters of JV and fresh soft for us to be able to fill those levels out in good development. So, and a lot of those guys at those levels are actually pushing to play in the varsity game tonight. So hopefully we keep getting better, keep pushing along. And like I tell every group, it takes everybody in our program, players, coaches, managers, for us to have a successful season at all 3 levels. We got a couple seniors that have been out for 4 years. Your son Dan has done a great job for us in practice, and Logan Weber, guys that don't get to play, haven't played a ton, but they've been out for 4 years, do a great job for us and do a good job in practice. We have to have those guys to be successful, and we only have 23 guys this year, so we need everybody to be a part of it.
Yeah, I was going to mention it. So you've got some players out there, and you always talk about the roles and how that evolves, and it's always interesting to see how the season progresses.
Yep, absolutely.
And what needs to happen, and plus getting in basketball mode.
Yeah,
coming off a football season where you had an extra game or 2.
Yeah, it takes a little bit sometimes, and I like to have those. I like to have those open gyms between the fall and winter, and quite honestly, I wish we're still playing in the state championship game for football. I think that'd be a great thing. But we had some time off in between to get some guys healthy and get some open gym going, get some basketball shape going. Even then, it takes a little bit of time once we get into practice. But yeah, we have smaller numbers this year, which isn't uncommon for us with a small freshman class and a small junior class. So everyone's getting a ton of time in practice, and I think you've seen a ton of improvement already, and we haven't even played a game yet. So and it takes everybody.
Well, let's talk about this season. What's different? Rules? There's just some different changes in rules, things like that that you've had to make some modifications with?
Forever basketball at the high school level, there's a 5 count when you had the ball in your hands. Then when you dribble, the new 5 count started. Now the new rule is if you're holding the basketball, the 5 count will start. If you start dribbling, there's no more 5 count anymore. And that's simply because there's a shot clock. It's a good rule. I wish they would have made that rule change 2 years ago, but I get why they waited. That kind of falls in line with the college game and the NBA game, which as we go down the road here, year after year, you're going to see more the rules look more similar between the professional leagues and the high school leagues in terms of just basic mechanics. And that's probably a good thing.
But let's keep playing defense, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. They don't play. I love the NBA more than college basketball, and from a coaching standpoint. But you're right. Sometimes the NBA they don't guard anybody, but they also play 82 games a year, and
a little more defense, maybe not as many logo shots that we need.
It's a different, and the NBA has become a 3-point shooting contest, which isn't great either. But there's some good things about it. But some of the rules, and I agree. Like I think men's college basketball is the only game in America or in the world right now that plays quarters still. Or halves, plays halves. So, and, I would think they're going to go to quarters at some point, and good rule change with a 5-second going away for high school basketball. It makes it easier on officials.
Well, last 45 seconds, put your AD hat on to get into the winter. I guess quick view of how fall went and what winter's going to be.
Yeah, another good fall. We had a state cross-country team again, had some people place individually. Volleyball had an outstanding season this year, won 25 plus, I think. Really had a great year. Football, another playoff berth. A lot of success there. Cheerleading has great numbers out again. Now we're transitioning into the winter. Girls came out rated, won a game already. Our wrestling program has good numbers again. They came out rated in the top 10. And then hopefully boys basketball can keep pressing forward here and be successful. So it's been a great start to the school year, and hopefully we keep it rolling.
Well, I was just going to say one thing. When you look at the big news here in the season between fall and winter was a number of the girls' basketball teams across the state not competing this year.
No.
And we weren't too far off of that 3 to 6 years ago.
2015-ish in that area.
And you look at where you're at right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of people to thank for that. It starts with Tom Klein when he was our coach. During that, he did a good job of getting the youth kind of getting back interested. Then our rec programs have been great since then. Green, Lechtenberg, and now Sabres, boys and girls side. So we're really lucky to have that here.
Joe, thanks for coming up. Good luck tonight.
Thanks, Nate.
That's head coach Joe Smines, as we will resume here very shortly on the J-Hawk Sports Network. All right, back on the J-Hawk Sports Network from Heartland Technology. Thanks to Joe Smines making his way up here at halftime, and we'll do that throughout the season. We'll hear from the boys' coach at the halftime of the girls' game, and then Jordan Conrad makes his way up at halftime of the boys' game to review how his game did. We'll talk deeper into how his season expects to come and how the postseason evolved. As obviously we see right now, Jesup came out of the gates slower, had the lead, and then really Hudson turned it on that second quarter, and that's where we're at, 21-10 with Jesup trying to make some things happen here in the second half.
Yeah, probably an unpopular opinion because I know, nobody likes a butt chewing, but in particular I think kids don't love that when coaches do it today, but my guess is the Jayhawks might have got a little bit of that from Coach Conrad over the half break there. So we'll see what happens as we move into the third quarter.
Yeah, Jesup getting outscored. Jesup getting outscored in that second quarter, 17-2.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough pill to swallow. Emma Bowe's really doing a nice job since about 2 minutes to play in that second quarter, getting after it here. And that's the kind of intensity we need out of these girls. They have plenty of talent. What we saw in that second quarter is not Jayhawk basketball. They have plenty of talent, both offensively and certainly defensively, but they gotta display it. Deep three from who? Did you see who shot that?
Yeah,
there,
I think that came off the hands of Rhodes. So that takes her to 5 points so far. Build that lead up. Now Zabel, top, trying to control that dribble. And here come baseline. Emma Bowes almost looked like she took an extra step, but Youngblood will have her foot on that blue line. And it'll go back towards Hudson's way.
Hanson in for the Pirates, and I think you mentioned this earlier. I think you mentioned something about the Hansons. I feel like they just keep coming. There was Hanson's. I played against Hanson's when I was in school, and that was like a different lifetime ago.
It's because they're strong milk drinkers.
They are.
That's probably why it is.
Good bones, too. Nice feed by Emma Bose into Olivia Nesbitt for the easy bunny. I shouldn't say easy. We've seen that not so easy
if
tonight.
You say easy bunny, are you saying the same thing? Is there a bunny?
No,
and then
a bunny
easy
is a bunny. Well, not in my mind. A bunny is just a short shot. An easy bunny would be an easy short shot because in that case the defenders were nowhere.
So can a bunny lead to a Donnybrook? Is that possible?
I mean, yes. Right there. You had the start of a Donnybrook.
No, I don't think we're at the Donnybrook yet.
I don't either, but I'm saying we've seen Donnybrooks result from that sort of contact.
Oh, man. 24-12. Welcome aboard to the Jayhawks Sports Network from Heartland Technology.
Already derailing.
Already.
And
doing our best.
If you know the...
Doing our best to confuse Northeast Iowa since 2015.
Yeah, has it been that long? My goodness.
Drop in a free throw for Nesbitt, take her to 5 points. And the second one, automatic. She's got some practice in on those. Take advantage of that. 24-14, 10-point margin. And Hudson across midcourt. Davis with it back the other way. Coverage from Bain.
I remember when Nesbitt came to Jesup as a, I want to say she was a 6th grader. And she played on a traveling team I coached. And I remember from day one, I thought that is one of the purest, prettiest shots I've seen, especially out of a kid that age back then. So.
And Bose steals it away from Hudson, but she gets it stolen away from her.
Oh.
And they will convert on a basket with Willard, and that'll be her 4th point.
Nice job by Willard. That was kind of a running jump shot. To be able to control that and get the bank, that was impressive.
Zabel down low. Nesbitt has it and tries to take it in the lane, and the jump possession will be credit towards Jesup. As that ball sails down towards that south end.
Hudson doing a nice job defending the inside for the Jayhawks. Early on, the Jayhawks were getting positions, some easy baskets. Hudson has since kind of collapsed that lane, really kind of muddying things up down there. Good pass into Olivia Nesbitt.
Didn't quite have the power on it she needed to kind of do that fadeaway. 4:42 to go, third quarter. Hudson passing that ball quick around that arch. Left side shot, no good from Willard.
And you saw
Bain will be challenged. And Hudson will see their second foul this half.
You saw a much better job of defense on that Hudson possession by the Jayhawks. They were on the ball all the way. You know, that ball worked its way around the perimeter, and they were moving quickly every time. So really nice job to the Jayhawks there.
And a Bose cross midcourt.
Watch that back
Always
foot.
looking far down, looking for an opportunity to make a play, protecting that ball, takes it on her own, draws the foul, but can't get it to fly.
Got a little, I don't know if that was a Euro step or what we call that, but it was effective. Put her at the line. That foul was on Willard. And that is just Willard's first. Nobody for the Pirates. I believe nobody has more than one foul, as we see Hyatt check back. Man, that's not right. What is that name? Hyatt?
3, yeah.
Remind me to bring my magnifying glass. Actually, doesn't the iPhone have a magnifying glass
Oh, I'm
feature?
sure.
You shut your mouth, Anthony.
He's just giving you vision advice.
Thought I told you earlier. Don't tell me
Willard
what to do.
leans in, gets her 6 point as Hudson continues to grow that score. Down low, ball taken away, was intended for Zabel. And it's back and forth almost, and Youngblood almost stole it away, but Hudson back-to-back points. Continues to grow this lead.
Zabel all the way. There you go. Oh, Zabel, just take that to the rack.
Ball comes out of bounds. It will remain with Hudson.
That ball off the knees of Hyatt. Got to give Anthony Ba, our man behind the magic box here, some credit. He suggested I use my phone, and it does work very well.
You know, I think, Luke, we need to pull up our first broadcast some night and
or not.
Regale our youth. You know, I told Anthony as I was climbing up here, I go, is this the year I fall off the ladder?
I think that was when I didn't know enough to call people out by their names. I just called them out by their number, which is completely unhelpful to anybody watching at home. Unless, of course, you happen to know the name that goes with that number.
Youngblood, just one bounce to the right. Shizzle in the game now. Sees that ball intercepted. Another turnover to Jesup and out of the reach of Davis as Jesup will regain possession.
Turnovers are hard, and we do have, we've got some youngsters out here, but I think one thing that would help the Jayhawks is if they just remember, wherever you're passing, don't telecast it. I mean, look away, look that defender off, and then if you're going to throw a pass, give them a fake. Right now we're just making it way too obvious where we're trying to throw the ball, and the defenders are jumping that passing lane and really not having to work too hard to get it.
Timeout on the floor as head coaches want to take a chance to kind of regroup here. Hudson has been on a streak. They have outscored Jesup so far 9-6 here in this third quarter. Leading so far is Willard for Hudson with 8 points, and Nesbitt has taken the lead as the leading scorer with 6 total points for the Jayhawks.
And
one of 3 seniors.
I can deal with 9-6. Actually, it doesn't matter. I mean, I can deal with anything. We're just up here running our mouths, so it doesn't much matter what we think. But 9-6 isn't bad. That's a good game. That second quarter, that's nobody on the Jesup side can deal with that. That's
17-2 run. That's some digging out of that you got to try and figure out. And Hudson really seems to be stepping up on their aggression as Davis enters back into the game.
Good idea by Peyton Weber, the feed inside to Olivia.
Shizzle.
Give it to her.
Back down to Peyton Weber, into Nesbitt. Take a bounce left, take it up, and rolls off the iron, comes off of Weber's hands. Hudson will have it. Under 3, out of bounds off of Peyton.
Good hustle by Youngblood. Deflects that ball, which apparently last touched Davis's fingertips. So,
it did come off of Davis.
Going to go to Jesup.
Bain will have it, and Nesbitt
Take
to get
it. Take it, Nesbitt. There you go,
she's
girl.
going to take that left-handed across that timeline, but unable to get it completed over to Youngblood.
Confidence, Nesbitt. You can take that ball as far as you want to take it. Take it all the way to the rack.
Clank, stop short, get it up to Davis. She'll take it back. 2:28 to go, third quarter.
Jayhawks in a 2-3 zone. Kind of a 3-2 zone, actually.
Little bounce, turn, off the board shot, not going to fall for Rhodes, and whistle underneath.
Nice job by Olivia Nesbitt to stay strong there. She drew a foul, didn't let that affect her, just ran out of there.
That's probably best. You're frustrated, just brush this aside, move on.
Yep, and she knew that she was on the right end of that, so Wieland back into the game for Hudson.
Here comes Shizzle. Switches dribble on that, gets across midcourt, covered by Olsen.
So Shizzle surprising me here tonight. Can't pass that cross-court pass.
And a double dribble will impact Trunk, and Hudson will go back on defense. Jaden Bowes enters the game for the Jayhawks. Jayhawks have gone 9 deep in their roster.
I feel
Hudson
like we've got,
has gone 9 deep as well.
I feel like we've got a little bit of a confidence issue here with our Jayhawks. They need to understand what they're capable of.
Yeah, you've got skill sets. Yeah, I think you're spot on the confidence.
Yeah,
they're really playing uncharacteristic of what we saw them playing last year, what we know they're capable of.
Picking up their dribble when they don't need to, making, anxious passes that are resulting in unforced errors. I think they all just need to go home, look in the mirror, and say, hey, dude, you're good.
Forced across. There's Davis. Does the outlet. A little pull-up jumper from Trunk.
That's no good. There's a
not
travel.
Not going to happen, and Jaden Bowes will inbound in front of the Hudson bench. Jaden Bowes. We've seen a number of players bring that ball up the floor, and Davis is going to draw the foul as Emma comes after her.
Nice job of Bowes. If you're going to commit that foul, then commit to the foul and make sure they don't make the layup, which she did. Make them earn it at the line.
So get to 4 fouls. Get a chance to hit that double. I guess it was a shooting foul, so she's got the opportunity for the 2 shots.
Extends that lead back to 15. And Peyton Weber with the rebound, but just, quickly trying to get it out of her hands as quickly as possible, which is unnecessary. She's tall. Get that ball up in the air. Look for your guards.
And Jeff Curley wants a timeout for Hudson. He'll take a 30-second timeout to regroup. As 1:22 remains in this third quarter, or 1:20 remains in this third quarter, 31-16. Yeah, I think, going back to what you had a comment on earlier, you're looking at a confidence issue. And we're 2.5 weeks into the season, really, when it comes to when practice started, and you throw a Thanksgiving break in there.
Yeah.
Really trying to figure out who's playing off of one another. Again,
Yep.
You only lost a senior from last year, but you got some roles. I guess you lost a senior, but you also lost another player from last year's team.
Yep.
Whose role is who? And what do you need to do?
And it's early, and they are still trying to figure that out. And I hope if anybody's watching this, they don't take offense to, if I'm maybe being a little critical up here, because as I stated before, what we say doesn't really matter. I mean, we're just calling the game, trying to fill some dead air.
Well, and we're giving comment to how we've seen these girls play before.
Exactly.
And how we've seen them and have heard how they've played.
Yep, we know what they're capable of.
Yeah, and this is the time of year you want to figure that out. It's not in February when you want to try and figure some of that stuff out.
Yeah, and I think we should also note that this Hudson team, they're a good team. They're ranked preseason. What were they? They were top 10, I think, or 11, something like that. So, and they've got experience, and as we've seen tonight, they're a feisty little group.
Whistle blown on a travel. I'd love to see our turnover numbers and see where those have.
I would not love to see that.
How about I'd be interested in seeing it? That might be a better way to say that. 38 seconds.
I have been surprised by how much I've seen Shizzle bring the ball up the court tonight, and she's done a good job of it. Again, she's a sophomore, and that's a tough role. I mean, you got a lot on your shoulders when you're the one bringing the ball up the court, and she's done a nice job of it.
Shot clock's off, 25-6 to go in this third quarter. Bowes eyes the clock. See Shizzle in that far right corner. And we're going to see an interruption on the dribble. High archer to Weber. And forced into Nesbitt. Ball is loose. Back to the other basket in Hudson.
Get on her.
And Trunk had it. And we're going to see the last shot here. Come up from Hudson, and that one is no good with Willard. With Willard. Yeah, Willard. So at the end of 3 total, visitors 31, Hudson, and 16. So you're looking at a 10-6 margin through 3 quarters. Leading scorer for Hudson is Willard with 8.
Yeah. Better third quarter by the Jayhawks there. Still another nice quarter for the Hudson Pirates. They just, ever since that first quarter, I think you can kind of wipe that one from the slate for them because they've been a completely different team ever since there, especially on defense. They've just picked up the intensity and have made it pretty difficult for the Jayhawks to, 1, get the ball up the court, and then 2, if we do get it up the court, run any sort of an offense.
So it becomes a bit of a sprint here between now and holiday break. Denver, doubleheader here at home on Friday. We'll have that for you on the Jayhawks Sports Network. They hit the road on Tuesday next week against Olwine. They will be at Sumner Fred a week from Friday, and they get a quick turnaround play at Turkey Valley on that Saturday. And then it's Union and Gladbrook Rhinebeck with an away and home before they break for the holidays.
Man, you want to talk about things not getting any easier. Denver, they are stacked top to bottom. I look to them as a team that could potentially make a trip down to Des Moines to the state tournament. I know it's pretty early to be talking like that, and I'm certain they're not talking like that, but they've got some players.
Maybe they should talk about that. If you're joining us tonight, go ahead and feel free to talk about that. To your heart's
goals.
content.
Goals are good.
Talk about it. As long as there's an impact for
and
what we see on Friday when you show up.
Their ladies took home the volleyball state championship this year, and a lot of those same players you're going to see on the basketball court.
And we'll see that when we see Dyke New Hartford as well.
Jesup, we should have mentioned Jesup ran their offense really well there, and were rewarded with a nice basket inside, and then played some tough D, and they're going to get the ball back. So maybe we can get ourselves a little bit of a run here and get back into this game.
Shizzle had that last basket for Jesup. Make some substitutions on Hudson's end here in the last quarter. There's Peyton Youngblood. Again, 2 in that backcourt.
Coming behind.
Gets by that pick. Finds an opening. Nesbitt. Quick give up. Doesn't go. Fall in the hands of Trunk.
Good job by
take
Shizzle.
Away by Bose, and it's going back the other way quickly.
So close. Love the effort by both Shizzle and Bose. Bose, ever since she was a freshman, she's just kind of been the Energizer bunny out there. Fortunate we got away without it. I thought they just dinged Bose for a foul there, but fortunately Coach Curley called the timeout before that happened. So
timeout is taken. Looking ahead to what's happening in Jesup this week. Coming up on Thursday, boys wrestling. That's a junior high meet, going to be hosted right here in this gym. That's a 4 o'clock start. Girls middle school basketball going to be over at Union. That's going to be at Dysart, not LaPorte City. High school wrestling opening their season with multiple schools in a tournament over at AGWSR. They'll face Sumner Fred in AGWSR. And then, like I said, Friday, we've got boys JV varsity, boys girls hosting Denver. And Saturday, boys high school wrestling gets their first tournament started. That one will be right here on this floor as well. AGWSR, Central City, Clear Lake, Iowa Valley, Lake Mills, Regina.
Needless
all
to say,
going to be in this gym for wrestling this season.
Needless to say, no shortage of Jayhawk opportunities for Jayhawk fandom.
Come on out, enjoy the games, and if you really want to get involved, they could use some help in the concession stand and taking tickets too. So they will not say no if you're looking for an opportunity to be around the smell of popcorn. There's not too many opportunities.
Jayhawk defense.
Give you that.
Yeah, Jayhawk defense got the trap going, forced another 30-second timeout by Coach Curley. Hey, man, Jesup J-Hawks have the best popcorn around. I said it here. Come at me if you want to. If you don't.
Yeah, I'm trying to think where I was at one night.
Our friends over in Fairbank at Wapsie Valley have some outstanding popcorn.
Little
Pretty
salty.
Good? Little salty.
Little salty. Little salty. Anthony likes the little salty.
Yeah.
Or a lot salty. It's a lot salty.
There's a fine line there. I like some salt on my popcorn, but I don't want to.
Wapsie Valley, they've got a good buttery combination going up there.
Yeah. I think Wapsie and Jesup, they're pretty close there. I think we've got the same recipe.
Well, at least
There's also some real bad ones out there, which I will leave nameless.
You're going to resist that?
Yeah. But some people need to up their popcorn game for sure.
Joe Smines is a connoisseur, him and Steve Schmidt.
Yeah. My dad's had a bag of popcorn or two over the years.
6:10 to go in this ball game. Hudson with the advantage, taken away with Nesbitt.
Just kind of right place, right time. Help her out there. Come on.
And we're looking to get that ball across midcourt. And that is going to see Coach Conrad take a timeout. I think he doesn't know who this team is.
He definitely knew we weren't going to get that ball across half court. So good timeout called. So they had Olivia Nesbitt wide open on the far side there, but nobody could get their head up long enough to even see her.
So
stands starting to fill up here. I thought it was a little light earlier, but you never know. I mean, some people come for the boys' game, some people come for the girls' game. But it looks like we're filling in. These early games, people are still getting used to
that it's actually basketball season.
Yeah. Heck, we're still getting used to it up here.
Well, Anthony got the equipment out of the football press box earlier today, so he was he knew he had
really
time.
Working ahead
he
there.
He had time.
Shout out to our friends at Heartland Technology for once again supporting this effort up here, both through their time and technology.
I thought you were going to say talent and use air quotes.
Not a lot of talent there, but, time and technology for sure.
Eric Clark on camera, Anthony Baugh, the talent from Heartland Technology.
I kid. Literally could not do it without him.
No, we'd just be sitting here talking to ourselves.
Nice job by Sage Bowes, driving to the hoop, up and in, and she's going to go to the line to try to make this a three-point play.
And that'll be a foul against Davis. That'll be the first one of the quarter against the Hudson Pirates. That is her second. And we've not seen Sage Bain drop that through the net for a while, and good to see that happen again. So 7 total points for that senior. And off to the races, Olsen has Bowes sneaking up behind her, trying to take that ball away. Olsen will take that 3 attempt, and Bowes got a hand on it.
Yes, that was a block.
And now Shizzle keeping that ball control.
All right, run the offense. Don't get ahead of yourselves here, girls.
Dish out. Bain has it. And you're right, Luke. They have. That must have been part of the timeout. Let's just get back to fundamentals.
There you go.
Find that opening. Bowes, and that's the second time she catches that ball with a foot on the line.
That's a nice take by Peyton Youngblood, though. She got a block, but I like to see her taking it right to the rack there. force another turnover here and get the ball back.
5:07 to go in this ball game. Davis sprinting baseline, covered by Bose and Youngblood. Comes off of Bose. Heads up offensive play for Davis, and that's sophomore.
I tell you what, Emma Bose is just all over the place right now. Get big.
With Rhodes and really full force up with Nesbitt trying to reduce that shot.
Yeah, they're gonna get Emma Bose for that one. Olivia Nesbitt had nice position. She was straight up. In fact, probably if Bose wouldn't got in there with the foul, Nesbitt was probably gonna get the jump ball call.
Well, it looked like she took one to the mouth too.
Yeah,
as she was posting up down low.
Yeah,
just a 10-point margin. Very doable for Jesup to try and make things back, and looking for turnovers and looking for conversions, and Jesup on their way now. Youngblood protecting that ball. She sees a double team in that corner, triple team
Good
even.
job.
And now Bose on her own.
Get in there.
Flies in, and she will draw.
And one. Let's go get it, Emma Bose.
Try and make that three-point play. She was committed. 4 total points for Emma Bose. Wheeland
back into the game for the Hudson Pirates. Bose
gets the and one.
So we are 6 point game here. 7 point. I thought that was brought to 25. So 7 point game.
Jesup tightening up defensively, and rebound to Sage Bain. Peyton Youngblood can slow it down, sees some challenge near midcourt. Emma controlling that dribble.
Jesup doing a much better job protecting the ball. Get in there, Olivia Nesbitt. A little long. Much better job protecting the ball, not picking it up in bad spots. Emma Bose.
Davis was on her own, ready to drop that in on the layup, but here she comes out of that right side, all ball.
Like to see that smile too. We need to see some more smiles from these Jayhawks. Basketball is fun.
Wait till the whistle's done. And they're up. Got a 7-point margin right now. 4 minutes to play.
You go out and get another defensive stop by Bose. Shizzle quickly back the other way. All right, take care of it.
Bain had an opening. Nesbitt pulls it in, gets it and goes. She's going to try for the and one.
Beautiful pass by Bain. That's about her 3rd or 4th feet inside.
Get that assist.
No shot? That's got to be an and one. Oh, you got to be kidding me.
Coach Conrad questioning whether it's an and one. The official kind of giving him the eye a little bit, saying
that was on the ground. I don't know. Whatever. Give it to her again. There you go. Should have been another foul.
Good follow-up. 3:38 to go. 31-26 is that score. And advantage Jesup again.
Is there more than one Emma Bose on the floor?
It doesn't seem like it.
It does seem like it, but
well, doesn't seem like that should be possible.
Yeah. And I shouldn't give her all the credit. Every one of these Jayhawk players is busting their tail right now. They have come out after halftime, this 4th quarter in particular, and they're playing a much different and much better brand of defense. So props to all of them.
And now Nesbitt, you see her playing with confidence that you talked about in that first half that they needed. And she is surely doing that right now, making it within now back to 7.
Emma Bose pushed out on the far side there. That's kind of a tough place to be. I think she was trying to get rid of it, but it's one of those places if you stop, that's a push off. Good call by the official on the near side here. Quickly called that.
Bain inbounding in front of that Hudson bench. Davis covering. And that ball you could see
you got to
waiting for it was Willand.
Push.
And hard down floor off the hands of Hudson and Hyatt out of bounds. Jesup will have the possession.
Good idea and look by Shizzle. Emma Bowes sprints.
Clank knocks that one away as it comes inbounds. And Coach Conrad would like a timeout. He would like a reset to bring people back together.
He's going to take a full timeout. 1 minute on the clock with 2:52 to go in the game here in Jesup. We've got Hudson on top, 33-26.
Jesup boys will follow. They're waiting in the wings as they will get their home and season opener underway with Hudson. And that's always a competitive game when you look at those two teams, but realistically in anything, you see that competition.
Yep. Our friends just down over and down the road in Hudson, they've always got athletes there. Don't really know what to expect out of them this year. They lost a ton off a state team last year.
Well, and they're the ones that knocked us out. They went on to state in that district final.
Right.
Or regional final or whatever that was.
Right. And, I think they return 1 or 2 from that. Otherwise, a lot of younger kids, but the only thing we know about younger kids is we haven't seen as much of them, and there may be some studs that have just been waiting in the wings.
Yeah, the Hudson had their number last year twice, 74-35, and then in that postseason win that took them to state, 80-54.
Good feed into Olivia Nesbitt from Peyton Youngblood. Great inbounds play by Coach Conrad coming out of the timeout there. Oh, come on. Yeah. You're going to get a couple of those with that kind of hustle. And sometimes you got to know when to go for the steal and maybe when to ease off a bit. That was probably one of those areas where ease off a second.
Third personal on Bowes, but again, a 5-point margin, a lot of game left. Big shot coming up for Hudson, and it counted.
Timely.
Willand with a big 3, take her to 11 points. That is the first player on either team to hit double numbers. Bain seeing some pressure. Bowes trying to get open, but now Peyton Youngblood has it. Little lob into Nesbitt, double team up, and straight on shot goes through.
Love it. Man, Sage and Nesbitt are like a 1-2 punch right now. And those two, they've been playing together forever and a day, so they know each other well, and that's shown right now.
Bowes with her 4th personal foul, and coach will keep her in there, keep her aggressiveness playing. And Clank on a quick go. 2 minutes to play. Deep 3 up, no good. Off the hands of Youngblood. Hudson will retain it.
Use that butt, Youngblood, block out.
Far side Willand. She'll try a deep 3. Rim no good. Fowler's her own shot and will follow in with a basket.
Got to get those rebounds.
And
what do we got?
Foul against 5. And that's going to go against Clank. And must be a technical foul in there somewhere. So they will have Conrad elect to send Olivia Nesbitt to the free throw line.
I don't know what that foul was for. I hate to speculate. You almost got to think extracurriculars maybe. It was
some language or some.
Yeah, but like I said, I'm not saying that. I even hesitate to speculate because we don't know.
I believe that's Nesbitt's 12th point. I could give Ardell some hard time down running that sideboard, but Lord knows I would do half as good a job as he's doing.
Yeah, that's a thankless job, man.
38-32, 6-point difference, 1:46 to play in the game. Hudson trailed 8-4 to start things out, then led at halftime 21-10, 31-16 at the third quarter, and now Emma Bowes has really been on fire here this fourth quarter. She follows in with now, I believe, 7 total points and a 4-point difference.
Don't even need to comment on it. It speaks for itself how pretty that play was.
There's Willen, covered tight by Bowes. Jesup with only 3 team fouls, and Bowes will see her 5th.
And that hurts for the Jayhawks, but hey, props to Emma Bowes, man. She busted her tail in there, and that girl can sit down on the bench with her head held high. Jayhawks are in this game just down 4, much due to her play the last quarter and a half here.
Jaden Bowes will take her place on the floor, and I think what we saw there, Luke, before that foul, that's a combination that I think Conrad was seeing some success and some consistency in.
Yep.
Deep shot by Clank doesn't go.
Jaden with the rebound, looks up to Nesbitt.
Force over to Bain, bounces off her hands, covers on that baseline. Hudson with the ball, 44 seconds.
Careful,
Davis on a fast break. She will miss that shot. Ball is still live. Bain has it, 36 seconds to go. Now Peyton Youngblood looking for somebody. Sees Jaden, call it over Jaden. And a deep 3, no good off the iron, 26 seconds to go. It'll be out of bounds. Hudson will have it.
Looks like somebody's got to be confident enough to take a shot here.
Time is of the essence. And you're seeing Olsen saying,
get a steal here. There you go.
Comet and Shizzle picking up where Emma Bowes was at on the aggressiveness on that floor.
Come on, White, move your feet now.
34.
Coach Curley
is where Jesup's at, needing to get some baskets, but
Coach Curley takes a 30-second timeout.
The different rotations we saw since this game started, of starting with Youngblood, Emma Bowes, Jaden Bowes, Zabel, Nesbitt, we really saw some consistency in play with Youngblood on the floor, Emma Bowes, Nesbitt, Bain, Shizzle.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think the entire team, they picked up their brains for the fourth quarter there. They got after it. They're just playing like a different team, much like Hudson looked like a much different team after that first quarter. Jesup for this fourth quarter is looking like a much different team, and now we got Vogel into the game to add additional quickness. Look for the trap there.
21 seconds to go, trying to get that ball loose. Vogel quick on defense, and she will push the foul.
Yeah, they're gonna call that intentional, which, you know, it was freshman foul. She was certainly not trying to do it. She wasn't trying to be overly aggressive.
There was just a bug on her shoulder.
She knew she
had worried about that bug that was on her shoulder. It could get her.
She knew her job was to foul, and so she fouled.
Olsen misses that first free throw.
You know, in the future she'll know, don't make it maybe quite so obvious.
Second free throw is missed.
Or not so intentional, I should say. You make it obvious. You
learn.
You want it called, but you don't want the intentional.
Hudson will retain possession, and we're certain to probably see another not so intentional foul take place. Although Nesbitt finds an opportunity to take the ball away, and it's going to come off of Hudson. 4-point margin. We will have Jaden Bowes come in place of Vogel. So Youngblood, Bain, Shizzle, Jaden Bowes, and Nesbitt all on the floor for Jesup. No time to pass, time to shoot. As Jaden Bowes tries to break her way into traffic, and Davis will slow it down, and that is a 38-34 final. Jesup will go to 1-1 on the season. Hudson to 2-0 on the season. And leading scorer, I believe, Willen with 13 points. 12, I think, for Olivia Nesbitt, who really turned it on in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, she sure did. I mean, we got maybe I should say I got pretty critical of the girls in that second, third quarter there. And they really, man, they answered the bell in that third quarter. I know we're going to leave the court with the 4-point loss, but if they can figure out a way to not do what they did in that second quarter again, they're going to be a heck of a team. All they got to do is watch the fourth period of this game tonight, and that's a blueprint for how to proceed in this season. You've got the quickness, you've got the height, and you know what they had in that fourth quarter? They found their confidence, and that's what they didn't have the rest of the game.
Yeah, you want to figure it out in November and not in February, so we'll see where things go. We will return here on the Jayhawk Sports Network with our boys basketball game. That'll be on a different selection on YouTube as well as on Facebook. Our final girls basketball tonight, Jayhawks go down to a loss, 38-34. For Luke Boldwood and our on-site producer Anthony Baugh and Eric Clark, I'm Nate Klaber in the upper patio tonight. You can watch this game again on replay and other previous athletic events on our YouTube or Facebook pages. This is the Jayhawk Sports Network from Heartland Technology. Music courtesy of bensound.com. Go Jayhawks, and good evening. See you in a bit.